My name is Garrett Diano. I'm the land manager for Cincinnati Parks, and today we are doing a walkthrough of Pottersfield Cemetery. Pottersfield Cemetery is a site that has really a very tragic history. It was transferred to Park Board ownership and management in 1934, and prior to that it had been the city's basically final resting place for those that were unclaimed, that were transported here from Dunham Hospital just up the road for contagious and infectious diseases, as well as those that were criminals or just unidentified. This kind of misconception that you wound up in Pottersfield because you'd done something wrong, and quite frankly, often it was just that you didn't have the means, or that you just had the poor, unfortunate luck to wind up here. The historical legacy of this site: it is a mass graveyard for 20,000 individuals. So how do we manage this ecologically while also being sensitive and respectful to the people that call this their final resting place? So from a management standpoint, Pottersfield offers a lot of unique challenges. One, as you can see, we're really starting with a ground point of heavy invasive presence. As you can see, the majority of what is around me classifies as that. In this case, bush honeysuckle over here, a lot of non-native grapevines around us. Really, even the ground cover here, this vinca, is non-native and is pretty much choking out any other native species which may come in here. And this represents for us one of our biggest challenges as far as a management plan. Not a lot of native plant material, not a lot of native trees at this point. So we're really looking at years to potentially decades, really, of constant management to get this back to a more naturalistic plant community and a more functioning ecosystem. We have to be very cautious and aware of the fact of where graves are, and if we are going to be using anything like heavy machinery to do some of this brush clearing, is that even an option? That may not be an option. Most of this may have to be hand cleared because of the risk of disturbing the soil. Some of the graves in Pottersfield are buried as shallow as 18 inches and unfortunately stacked 3 deep. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of, this is 40 acres of land roughly and 20,000 individuals plus. You can imagine the density here that they were buried. It also includes some mass graves as well for cremated remains from the universities from their anatomical studies. And again, mass graves from individuals that were killed during epidemics such as Spanish flu, typhoid, and cholera. So there's a lot of challenges, as I mentioned, for this site that really require some innovative solutions. In the past with Pottersfield, we've struggled to really have a focused management plan, and best attempts were made and often they weren't followed through. So that is really one thing that we are looking at avoiding in the future, and that starts right now with developing these long-term management plans, working with volunteers in the community to make sure that this site is given the respect that it deserves. Pottersfield contains potentially upwards to 20,000 individuals that now rest here permanently. So it's very important that we respect this site, and that includes making sure that our management of this site is done in a way that is not disturbing the ground, is not disturbing those remains, because this requires a lot of sensitivity and respect.